Yes, Mr. Abdul Majid. Okay, this is our fourth meeting, and we'll talk about today, inshallah, loops. If you remember, last meeting we talked about selection statements. Selection statements. So, what are the selection statements we have in programming or in OU build? Can someone give me selection statements? What we took in the last meeting? If, very good. We have if statement and the other one, nested if. Okay, very good. Nested if. If inside if is called nested if. If and else, yes, very good. If, else. Okay. So we have this if, else, nested if, sequential if. This is called, these are called the selection statements, where we select a particular statement based on the condition, the Boolean value, that is based on the condition, if it is true or false, based on this condition, true or false. We select a course of action to be taken based on the value, that is true or false. Today we are talking about loops. Loops are nothing but something repeated. That a set of statements we want to repeat for a number of times, or until some condition becomes true. We want to repeat a number of statements. Okay, so that is what we call loops or repetition. So loops are nothing but repetitions, or repeating something again and again for a particular reason or for a number of times. Okay, so humans may get tired of repeating some things over and over, but computers, they do the repetitive task. All programming languages include the structure for causing instruction to be executed repeatedly. Instructions to be executed repeatedly. Repeated execution is also called repetition or looping in programming. In programming, we call it as in looping or repetition. We call that as a looping or repetition. Okay. So there are three general types of looping here. Loop whose content is executed fixed number of times. That means 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. You want to execute a particular loop. 3 times, 2 times, how many times? Okay, that is called fixed number of times you want to repeat the loop. Loop whose contents are executed indefinitely, forever. It is not fixed numbers, but forever. It is also called indefinite loop. Indefinite loop. Loops whose content executed repeatedly depend on the Boolean condition, depend on particular condition or some condition. The loops are executed. Okay. So OU build loop blocking are in the control palette. In OU build, you can look the loops in the control palette. If you see here in the control, you have this forever. Okay, you have this repeat until and repeat for some time, 10 times, 20 times. see this. Repeat forever, repeat 10 times, 20 times. Okay. So for example, if I put here repeat hello, then hi, okay, each for 1 second, 10 times. Okay. Now you can see this hello, hi. It will repeat for 10 times. Okay. Now if you want to repeat it forever, let's say for example, I want to repeat this forever. This is repeated forever. It will not stop. Okay. This is forever. Repeat on some condition. Which zero? Ahmed Rashid. What's your question? What will happen if you put zero? It will not repeat. You put zero, repeat for 0 times. It will not repeat anything. Fine. Repeat until. Here we specify some condition. And I repeat this until some condition is true. Or sorry, until some condition is false. Once the condition is true, we stop it. It will stop it. Okay. So 3 loops we have here. Repeat for a fixed number of times, repeat indefinitely forever, and repeat until some condition is true. We have this activity 4.1 as you see on the figure, which is the moving of these 2 pictures, okay, by using repeat until the finish line is touched. Repeat moving these 2 animals ahead, right? So now forever loop, it refers to an indefinite loop. To repeat the contents over and over indefinitely. But we can stop this loop. We can still stop this loop by using this stop. Okay, by using this stop. So this loop in the AOU build is used to implement the task that should continuously run throughout the program. For example, background sound, continuous movement of this sprite. Right. So OU build has this O forever block, which what we saw here. This is the forever block. Okay, where continuously it will repeat the things. So this is a flow chart for the forever block. It is start this and it repeat it ever and ever. Okay. Now forever loop can be stopped in various ways, including the stop block. Okay. When you use this stop block, it will stop the loop or stop the forever loop. So you can find this stop here. Stop. Okay. Stop all or stop this script, for example. Now you see it will execute only one time and it will stop. This stop block may be used to stop this forever loop. So this can be put under some condition. Okay, this can be put stop under some condition and condition can be added here. Fine. If some condition is satisfied, you stop this script. Okay. So stop can be used to stop has 3 options. Stop all scripts in the program, this script, or stop other script in the sprite. Fine. 3 different options we have for this stop. Okay, so we can use a stop where we, if we want to stop the loop, forever loop, where we can set some condition to stop, or we just say like, okay, run one time and then stop. Fine, can be used. Okay, repeat until. Repeat until is repeat until some condition is true. Until some condition is true. As you see here, this one. Repeat until some condition is true. Once the condition becomes true, it will stop repeating. Unless the condition is false, it will continue repeating. Alaikum salam. Okay. So just what we use the Boolean condition in the if condition. Okay, we use the Boolean condition here to determine whether to repeat the loop or not to repeat the loop. This loop is also called a conditional loop. This loop is also called conditional loop because this loop is executed based on the condition. Based on the condition. So we see what is the condition. If the condition is true, we will stop the loop. Otherwise, we will continue the loop. لا ليس 103 هذه TM 111 103 كان من 2 إلى 4. Okay. Or you will implement this by using this control, what you see here. Right. This is the flow chart for the repeat until. It will check the condition. If the condition is false, the loop is repeated. And then again it will go to check the condition. Once the condition is true, the loop is stopped. Once the condition becomes true, the loop stops. Okay. So if it is true, then the loop contents are not run at all, or you will move to the block after the until. Okay. If it is false, the loop contents are run from the first block to the last, then or you will check the condition again. Okay. So it is executed when it is false. When it is becomes true, it will stop the execution. So for example, if we do this one, repeat until, let's take a variable I. Okay, set I to 0. Fine. Let's take the repeat until I is equal to 11. Okay. Say join hello I. Okay. And now we change I by 1. Now you see here we are starting I from 0 and we check I is 11. If it is not 11, we print it. Hello 1, hello 0, hello 1, hello 2. Okay. So you can see that hello I, sorry. Here not this one, we need to put I variable here. Right. Yeah. Now you say hello 0, hello 1, hello 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it stops now. 11. When I becomes 11, 11 is equal to 11 is true. Once it becomes true, it will come out of the loop. And anything after the loop, for example, let's say after the loop, I'll put here, thank you. So you will get here thank you after the loop. You see hello 0, hello 1, hello 2. Thank you. Okay, after ending the loop. So this repeat until is to repeat the loop by set of until the condition becomes true. Once the condition becomes true, it will stop the loop. Fine. Now here the value of the I can be changed by 1, either by using set I to I plus 1 or change I by 1 or change I by 1. Mustafa, can you record this please? If I record it, I can record it from here. Is it okay if I record it from here? Mustafa. Mustafa, is it okay if I record it from here? Okay, so this is the forever loop, right? We are discussing about the loops. So, sorry, this is not forever loop, this is conditional loop. Okay, not forever loop. Forever loop is this one. Okay. Sorry, this is forever loop. Okay, now this is conditional loop. Okay, so depending on the precise requirement, it can therefore be necessary to consider whether and how to ensure that the loop contains a run, at least one, that is the condition is false, at least one, that is at the first point, and whether how to ensure that the loop or not run indefinitely. At some point, the loop will stop because there is a chance, like for example, if you say, if I don't put this change I, what will happen here? This loop go to infinite, right? I remains 0. This loop go up infinite. Every time it shows hello 0, hello 0. We are not changing I here. So the variable I must be changed here to stop the loop. Fine. So we must make sure that at some point the I will become 11 and the loop is stopped. That means the condition becomes true at some point after some repetitions, after some iterations, and the loop terminates. Okay. This must be taken care. The third loop what we have here is the fixed loop. We saw the forever loop that is repeated forever and ever. We saw the loop conditional loop that is repeated based on the condition. Condition is false, the loop is repeated, and condition is true, the loop is stopped. Fixed loop is if you want to repeat a set of statements a fixed number of times, 10 times, 20 times, 3 times, 4 times, how many times you want to repeat. So for example, what you see here, repeat for 10 times. Okay, so you see this is repeated 10 times. Hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi. It's repeated 10 times. Fine. So if I change it Let's say, for example, repeat for 5 times. Again, hello, hi will be repeated for 5 times. Okay. So this is repeat fixed number of times. Repeat fixed number of times. So that's about the looping we have. So as a summary, we have 3 types of looping in OU build. Forever loop that is repeated forever and ever, and we can stop the loop by using the stop block. Okay, and we have conditional loop, that is loop is repeated based on the condition. And if the condition is false, the loop is repeated, and once the condition becomes true, the loop is stopped. Then we have fixed loop, that is the loop is repeated fixed number of times. Okay, so that's about the 3 types of loop what we have in OU build, and that gives us the basic idea about the looping in programming. So if you study later any other programming language, there also you will find this looping concept. Okay, there might be a difference in the syntax, there might be different like how you write the loop depending on the language, depending on the programming language, but this is a basics of it. We have the looping. Okay, we have the looping. Okay, that's about the looping. The next part here is string processing, or also called text processing. It means manipulation of text or words by a computer. That is what we call string processing or a text processing. That is manipulation of text or words by a computer. It's called string processing or text processing. So text may need to be manipulated in many different ways. For example, think of a word processor. Give a piece of text might be search for first occurrence of a specific character, or replace every occurrence of a specific word or a character, or insert a character in between. Okay, search for the words. Okay, so string processing is an important thing in computer science. Okay, so we'll look into here like how we can, how the strings are processed. We'll try to get some basic idea about how the strings are being processed. You look into this activity 4.8, as you see on the figure. This illustrates that any string what we enter is, it gives some decorations to it, adding a asterisk or adding a star symbol or asterisk symbol to the text. Okay, so you see this one, it says enter a word, you enter a word that is stored in a word here, then there is a set star word as a star, position as 1, length of word is what? Can someone tell me what is mean by length of word? Or a length of a string. So for example, I have this rover, ROVER. What is the length of this rover? Yes. How many letters in the word? That's very good. And the length of the word, it means how many letters in the word. Okay. Now what is the length of the rover? The word rover. It is 5. Okay. So here the length of word, repeat 5 times. This means if we enter rover. Now we set the star word as we take the first word, position starting from one, first word, first letter of the word. First letter of the word. Let us take this in this one. Let's make a variable called word. Sorry. Word. And we set the word to rover. Okay. Now let's look what is the length of the word. Length of word is 5. Set word to rover. Now length of word is 5. Say length of word, it is 5. Okay. Now it says length of letter of, so this is 5 times. Then it says letter of position of word. Letter of operator, you will get it here. Letter 1 of the word or letter 1 of the word, for example. This will give you what is the first character. It is R, right? So if I say, for example, letter 1 of word, it will say R. Letter 2, what it will say? Letter 2 of word will say O, right? So like this, letter will give you the letter in that particular position or alphabet in that particular position in the word. Position is starting from 1. 1, R, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we are joining this, the first letter with the asterisk. Okay. Join with the star word. Change the position by 1. Again, the second position, third position, fourth, fifth position. Finally, we say the word here. The word will appear something like this in a more decorated way, rover with the stars. Fine. So what we did here with the string, with the word rover, we manipulate it, we change it. Fine. We manipulate it, we change it. That's a manipulation of the word. So that's this script. How it works is given here. The value of the position is 1. Letter at position of the word is R, the first position. The word is rover. Okay. Now star, we add the star here. Star, R star. Then position is changed. Second letter O. O star is added. Position is changed. Third letter V. V star is added. Fourth position E. E star is added. Fifth position R. R star is added. 6 is gonna stop the loop. Okay, because loop repeated, how many times it says to repeat the loop? It says only length of the word. Length of the word is 5 times. When it go to 6, it will stop. Okay, and hence you will get output in this fashion. Fine. So the variable position, what we use here is called the index variable. That keep the index of every character in the word or every letter in the word. That keep the index of every letter in the word. Okay. Is the character within a string are accessed through this index variable. Through this index variable, we are going to access the character in the string. We say that the index variable enable the program to iterate through the string. Length of the word, of course, this will give you number of characters in the word, and hence in the loop we can repeat the loop number of character times. The basic idea of using the index variable is to repeat the loop, okay, and go to that particular every character by character by using the index. So if we have a character. Sorry. So if you have any word, this word rover, ROVER. So the index is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we use a position starting as 1. So this will go to this one. Okay. So the letter of position in the word. Okay. So position 1 will go to this. Position 2 will go to this. Position 3 will go position 4, position 5. Okay. So if you want to go letter by letter, and you want to repeat the loop, you want to repeat how many letters are there, that number of time you want to repeat the loop. We can use this length of word. Okay, and use that index variable to go through character by character. List processing and string processing, they have much in common. Okay, most of the things, because list is what? A set of values, and a string is what? A set of characters. List is a set of values, and a string is a set of characters. So both are a set, right? Both are in sets. So they have much things in similar or in common. A string is a sequence of character, each numbered position. A list is a sequence of data item, each numbered position. You have seen the AOU build provides similar blocks for each string and the the list. Okay. Suppose that you want to create a list called sentence, initialize it by number of words you enter. You will definitely use the add to block, but you don't know how many words that you will enter. Okay. This can be done by using a repeat until statement in a conjunction with what is known as sentinel value. List processing here. Suppose that you want to create a list and you want to go on entering the words into the list, but you don't know when to stop. You don't know when to stop. In this case, what we can do is we can have a value that will stop the loop. Such value we call it as a sentinel value. For example, you go on entering the values, okay, add it to the string, to the list. Once you enter a particular value, for example, Q, okay, at this time stop the loop, stop adding to the list. So this Q becomes the sentinel value. Sentinel value is a value that stops the loop. Sentinel value, I repeat, sentinel value means a value that stops the loop is called sentinel value. Okay. So we can use some sentinel value here to end the loop. For example, you see this figure. Enter a word you want to add to the list or Q to quit. Fine. So you set the answer to the word, and if the word is Q, you stop it. Otherwise, you add that to the sentence and repeat the loop. Okay. Let us put this in OU build. We have a word and we need to take the list called sentence. Sorry, make a list. Make a list called sentence. Okay. Let's say when clicked, say or not say, ask. Here, ask, enter a word or Q to quit. Fine. next set word to the answer. Okay, now we check while repeat until the word is equal to Q. The word is equal to, repeat until the word is equal to Q. Okay. Once it is Q, it will stop. Fine. So in this case, what we will do now, we add the word to the sentence, and then we again ask the user to enter word or Q to quit, then we set the word. Fine. Now let us try this. Enter a word or Q to quit. Say hello. Hello is added. Enter a word or Q to quit. How is added. Enter a word or Q to quit. R is added. You can see the words are added here. Okay. R is added. Enter a word or Q to quit. U added. Now I will enter Q. Quit. No more asking. Now Q is called the sentinel value. Q here is called the sentinel value that stops the loop. Fine. So we can add something like this in the list. Fine. Read it again and again and use the sentinel value to stop it. For example, if you enter T, it will add T to the list. If you are for 2. Once you enter Q, it will stop the loop. Okay. So a list is a collection of data stored together and processed together. Loops can be used, to process the loops. Input the list to process the list one by one. Okay, just like a string, list can also be processed. List can also hold numbers. What we add here, the list is with values, with the words. Okay, we can also have a list of numbers. For example, list of temperature. Fine. Instead of asking to enter a word, enter a temperature or Q to quit. Fine. So we make a variable called TMPR, that is temperature, and we set the temperature to the answer here. It is, delete this. Sorry. Set temperature to the answer while the temperature. So I need to take here the temperature. The temperature is not equal to Q. Okay. Add the temperature to the list TMP. Okay. So then again, same statement here. Temperature or Q to quit. Fine. Now set is same here. Set the temperature to the answer. Now this string will, this list will add the numbers as temperatures. So let's enter a temperature. Let's say, for example, 21 degree. Enter a temperature Q to quit, 23 degree, 15 degree, 25 degree, 36 degree. Q will quit it. Fine. Now you see the temperature. It is 21, 23, 36. Fine. So list can be a list of numbers. Fine. Once we have the list of numbers, we can have following things. We can do with the list. Find the largest and the smallest of the list. Find the average of the list. Okay. List the number in order from smallest to largest. These are the simple operations that can be performed on the list. Okay. We'll have a 2 minutes break here. I'm sorry, 5 minutes break, inshallah, and then we'll continue after 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, so here we talk about the list, finding the largest of the number in the list, or finding the sum and the average of the list, the smallest of the number of the list. Okay. For example, how can we find the smallest or the minimum number in the list? Found in the list of numbers. Okay. So how to find the smallest of the list? Okay. So we can write first an algorithm for it. How to find the smallest number. Right. For example, let's say this is an algorithm. Set a variable for the smallest number. Say the first number in the list is the smallest number. First number in the list is the smallest number. Okay. Now compare the second number with the smallest number. And if the second number is less than the smallest number, then make the smallest number as the second number. Do you think? For example, let's say that I have these numbers 10, let's say I have these numbers 10, 5, 20, 3, 22. And I want to find the smallest of these numbers. This is a list of numbers. And I want to find the smallest of these numbers. So what the algorithm says is that you take the smallest number as a variable and set that to the first value. So you say smallest number is 10. Now check the next number in the list, okay, and check that the smallest number is or the list number, okay, list of the second number is less than the smallest. Fine. The second is 5. 5 is less than 10, false. Sorry, true. So we keep that 5, make the smallest number as 5. Okay. Make the smallest number as 5. You repeat the same process. Fine. The next you check this number, check the smallest number with 20. And then next check the smallest number with 30. Check the smallest number with 22. So every time you repeat the process, at the end you find that this variable Sn, the smallest number, will have the smallest number in it. Fine. I repeat this process again to be more clear to you. Let me erase all this. Fine. So let's say this is a list. These are the list of number, list of 1, list of 2, list of 3, list of 4 and 5. Set the smallest number as list of 1, the first number, so which is 10. The next you check if the list of 2 is less than the smallest number, then you make the smallest number as list of 2. So in the second case it is 5, 5 is less than 10, true. So you make the smallest number as 5. So the smallest number is now 5. Okay. You repeat the next for smallest number 3. Set list of 3, 20 is less than the smallest number, which is 5, which is false. So you don't make any change here. You check the next number, that is smallest of 4. The list of 4 is 3. 3 less than 5, true. You change that to list of 4. Smallest number to list of 4, which is 3. So now the smallest number is 3. You check for the next number 22. 22 is not less than 3. So we keep it as it is. That is the end of the list. And we see that the smallest number is 3. So this is how we can find the smallest number in the by using this is the way we can find the smallest number. Okay. So you can see on the screen the OU program to find the minimum or the minimum temperature, let's say, or minimum smallest number, let's say. Okay, so a simple program. If you want to do it here in the AOU build, it can be done here. Okay, let's say this is the list we have, temperature list. Let's say when the space key is pressed, fine, we take a variable called position of the, okay, uh, and we take a variable called minimum temperature, minimum underscore temperature, fine. We say set minimum temperature to the first of the position is first position. Okay, we take the position, set position to 1. Okay, set position to 1 and set minimum temperature to the 1 of the list. Okay, we have the list here, TMD as the list, fine. One of the temperature, or we say position of the temperature. Position is 1. So here minimum temperature is, so when you press the space key, the minimum temperature is 21. That is the first. Okay. Now we'll move to the next. We'll move to the next. So we'll go to the length of the temperature -1. Why -1? Because we take 1 as minimum temperature. The first one as minimum temperature. So no need to go from the first. We'll go from the second. Okay. Second till the end. So the length -1. Okay, so we repeat length of temperature -1. So temperature here we have the length of temperature -1. Length of temperature -1. So we go for repeat number of times. Repeat length of temperature -1. Sorry. Fine. Length of temperature -1. Now inside this we check, we set the minimum, the first one as the minimum. Now we check if the position of the temperature is less than the minimum temperature. Okay, so we take here if the position of the temperature, if the position of temperature is less than, so we have to take less than here, the item of position of temperature is less than minimum. Here we have minimum temperature. Okay, sorry. Then we set the minimum as the item position, the position of the temperature. This is the second item. Okay, we are going to set the minimum. So we set minimum temperature as this one, item position of temperature. So we'll put it here inside the loop. Okay. Now of course we need to change the position. We need to update the position. So we change the position by 1. So here we change position by 1. Okay. So finally you will have the minimum inside the minimum temp, the minimum value inside the minimum temp. So we can finally say that minimum of temperature is minimum. You can join it here. Minimum temperature is minimum of temperature, and this say this. Okay, so here we have the list. What is the minimum? Here we have 15, so we get 15 here. So let's press the space key. Minimum of temperature is 22. No, this is wrong. We don't have 22 here. We have the temperature. This minimum temperature is 22. Now we did not set the position. Set position to 1. Minimum temperature, item of position of temperature. List. Okay. Repeat length of temperature -1. Okay. Item of position less than minimum temperature. Then set minimum temperature to item of temperature. Change minimum. Oh, sorry, we are changing here position, not minimum temperature. Okay. Now let's see here. Minimum is 15. Okay. So from this list, minimum is 15. Fine. So for this script to work, you need to first do this. Run this, add these numbers, and then press a space to find the minimum. Okay. So this is how we can find the minimum of the list. Similarly, we can find the sum of the list, find the average of the list, find the sum of the list and the average of the list. Average is sum divided by the length of the list. Okay. Here you can see. We find the sum of the list. Fine. And we calculate the average and we display the average of the list. Okay. Fine. So this is how we can use the looping along with the list to solve the problem of lists. Similar kind of problems you may find in the exams. Okay, in the midterm exam or in the final exam, they ask you to write these programs, to take a list of numbers and find the minimum of the list or maximum of the list or sum of the list and average of the list. Okay. Problem solving with the loops. What clues are there in the program specification that tell us that to use the loop? Right? Whenever we read some problem, what is the clue that tell us that we have to use the loop in this program? So words such as for each, how many, every, until, total, while, these are the words that tells that we need to use the loop. Okay. For example, for each child whose name is in the list, get the age and address of the child. So it means that for here, it means that we need to use the loop, okay, to go to every child and get the age and address of the child. Check the password to see how many times the space character is included, how many times inside the password. So it means that we need to use the loop to go to every character by character. Add numbers together until total exceed 100. What it means? Go on adding the numbers until the total is 100, exceed 100. This also requires the loop. Play music while game is on. This is also requires a loop. So these are the words that in the program specification or the problem specification, which tells us that to use the loops in your program. To use the loop in your program. Okay, you take this program as an homework. Okay, back at home, do this program to find the sum and the average and try to print both sum and the average. Here in this program is only average is printed. Try to print sum and the average. Also do this program also to find the minimum and maximum. We did for minimum, right? Okay, do for maximum. There is only one small change here we need to make to print the maximum. Okay. Finally, we look into repetition errors, common repetition errors. Programmers or the beginners, they make some simple mistakes in writing the loops, hence they may not get the exact output. Okay, for example, the loop condition is incorrect. Fine. Data involved in the loop condition is not changed correctly. We did a mistake, like in this program, like, right? We changed the, instead of changing the position, we were changing the temperature, right? And when we see, we are getting some other result. Okay, what we have to do, we have to change the temperature position here. Then only we can get the correct result. Then only we will get the correct result, right? So these kind of simple mistakes, okay, will not give you the exact answer, or the loop will go infinite. Okay, for example, if I don't change the position, let's say I will take out this one. Now in this case, the loop is finite here. The loop will go, but you will not get the correct answer. Okay, you will not get the correct answer. So we need to change the position. Sometimes here repeat how many times. In this case also we need to be very careful, like setting the condition to stop the loop or to run the loop. Okay. Sometimes using less than, we use the greater than symbol. That will give us the maximum number, not minimum number. Fine. So these kind of simple mistakes will not give us the correct result. Okay. This sort of errors may raise into problems like loops not executed at all, executing the loop in infinite number of times, accessing the wrong items in the from the list. Okay. So these kind of things you need to take care while writing the loops. Okay, you have to avoid these errors. Fine. So this is all what we have in this meeting, meeting number 4 in the course TM111. So I leave here some of the work for you to do at home. For example, this the star word here, the star word program to do back at home, and this one, yeah, finding the minimum and maximum. Along with this minimum, try to find the maximum, and also this one, finding the sum and the average, and try to print both sum and the average of the program. Okay.